For the qada of the hawa'ij of the mu'mineen and mu'minat, let us recite the second surah al-Fatiha, and we gift the thawab of this surah to our Imam Ar-Ridha salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil fawjah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين المصطفى أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعمدين وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد. أما بعد، فمما جاء في كلام الله الحميد وقرآنه المجيد أنه قال: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم ويعفو عن كثير. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. We are celebrating the birth of the 8th Imam and the 8th Nur and light of the lights of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, Al-Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Imam alayhi salam was born in the year 148 after Hijrah. He did not get to see his grandfather Al-Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam, as he was martyred before his birth. So he spent his life with his father Al-Imam Al-Kadhim alayhi salam, 35 years with his father, and then 20 years taking the responsibilities of Imamah. He was martyred in the year 203 after Hijrah at about the age of approximately 55 years. He is the son of As-Sayyida Tuqtam. His mother is As-Sayyida Tuqtam, who is a noble lady, a virtuous lady from northern Africa. And the highlight of the Imam salamullahi alayhi is probably the last 2 years of his life. That's the most famous 2 years of his life. And that's where Al-Ma'mun Al-Abbasi, the Khalifa of the time, forced Al-Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam to accept his succession. He threatened the Imam salamullahi alayhi, telling him, if you don't accept to become my successor as the Khalifa's successor, I will kill you. So the Imam salamullahi alayhi, to avoid being killed in this particular instant, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to avoid getting killed in that instant, he accepted being the successor of Al-Ma'mun Al-Abbasi with conditions. Ma'mun did not care as long as the Imam accepted. He did not care what the conditions were. So the Imam immediately ordered for the agreement to be written. And he started the agreement by saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah alladhi ya'lamu kha'inata al-a'yun wa ma tukhfi as-sudur. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who knows the evil hiding meanings of the eyes and what the chests are hiding. Sometimes you might make a look with your eye that people don't recognize. You might make a comment with your eye that people don't notice, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala notices. Any haram look, any evil look, any way that you might look, people may not notice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala notices, Allah knows. And whatever you're hiding in your chest, whatever you're hiding in your heart, on the outside it may appear as something else. People may be fooled by what you're doing, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows exactly what your intentions are. And that's why it's very important for the mu'min to always have pure intentions. كُلٌّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ أي عَلى نِيَّتِهِ. Everyone does any deed based on his intention. Your deed on the outside may look beautiful. Building a masjid, for example, great deed on the outside. But what is the intention behind this masjid and building this masjid? Is it just so that your name can rise, like we see in some parts of the world where people are building masajid and you say the masjid of so-and-so and the king of so-and-so, etc., etc.? Is that your niyyah? Then this work has no value at all. So therefore the intention is really important. This is how the Imam Salamullah alayhi began the agreement. That in other words, Imam is hinting, indicating there is a betrayal that's going on, taking place here. In other words, Ma'mun, your intentions are not clear. You're hiding something in your chest, and Allah knows what you're hiding in your chest. You are preparing for betrayal, and Allah knows of that betrayal, and I'm aware of that betrayal as well. But Ma'mun did not catch it. In addition, Imam alayhi salam lived in the peak of the tyranny of the Abbasi regime. Abbasi regime came to power in the year 131 after Hijrah. That's when they officially overthrew the Umayyads. Then a year later, they had a fight and they finished them completely. But in the year 131, they came to power and they declared Baghdad as their capital. That was the first Khalifa, Abdullah as-Saffah. Then he reigned for 2 years, then he died. After him came his brother, Abu Ja'far al-Mansur. That's when a lot of the elimination of the Shia began. Persecution of the Shia began. They started eliminating the Hassanids, whom they pledged their allegiance to initially. Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn al-Hassan, they had declared him as the Khalifa initially. If they won the revolution, he would have become the Khalifa. They turned against him, of course. And they started killing him. They called Abdullah ibn al-Hassan, they killed Ibrahim, and so on and so forth. They started eliminating one after the other. And Abu Ja'far al-Mansur also eliminated Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. He also got rid of the Imam salamullahi alayhi. After him came al-Mahdi al-Abbasi. Then came al-Hadi al-Abbasi. Then came Harun al-Rashid. Harun, obviously, as you know, imprisoned Imam al-Kadhim salamullahi alayhi, and also ordered his execution or poisoning, and he got rid of the Imam. Then came Muhammad al-Amin. Then Ma'mun, who killed his brother Muhammad al-Amin to become the Khalifa, Abdullah al-Ma'mun. Ma'mun was one of the most evil, smart but in an evil way, of the Abbasi caliphs. On the outside, he appeared as a person who was extremely knowledgeable, interested in knowledge, propagating knowledge, to also cast some shadows on the minds of the lovers of Ahlul Bayt. He sometimes also publicly defended the rights of the Khilafah of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and his position and how he ranks higher than the others, the other companions. That was in public. But of course, his hidden intentions were against Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and that is found when he martyred or killed Al-Imam Ar-Ridha salamullahi alayhi. And then he forced Al-Imam al-Jawad to marry his daughter al-Fadl, so that she would keep an eye on the Imam salamullahi alayhi the whole time. And the Imam lived under so much pressure, Al-Jawad alayhi salam, that when Al-Ma'mun died, he said, relief is coming to us soon. Indeed, 2 years after Al-Ma'mun, Ma'mun's brother came to power first, and then he plotted with al-Fadl to kill Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam 2 years after Al-Ma'mun. So indeed, the relief came to the Imam salamullahi alayhi. So that was the peak of the tyranny against Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam and their Shia, the persecution against the Shia. Imam lived in these difficult conditions. However, being appointed, the successor of Al-Ma'mun, that gave the Imam some leeway. And indeed, his plans proved so effective that Ma'mun did not keep the Imam for more than 2 years. They pledged the allegiance to the Imam as a successor of Al-Ma'mun in the year 201 after Hijrah, on the 6th day of the month of Ramadan. That's when they pledged their allegiance. And in Dhul-Qa'dah, in the end of Safar, in the year 103 after Hijrah, they got rid of the Imam Salamullah. So about 2 years is how long he stayed in the position. These 2 years proved so dangerous, proved the Imam, dangerous to Al-Ma'mun of course, proved so dangerous for Al-Ma'mun that people realized who the true Khalifa should be. Who is the one with knowledge? Who is the one with ilm? Who is the one with kindness, with virtue? That Al-Ma'mun had to get rid of the Imam Salamullahi alayhi in the year 203 after Hijrah. But one of the important aspects that the Imam alayhi salam did, and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam also paid attention to, was building the Shi'i character. It is important to build the Shi'i character. Many people claim to be Shia. They follow Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. But when it comes to the actions, that's what counts. Being a Shia is not just about salat and siyam, paying khums, going for ziyarah, going for hajj. These are important, yes. Ahlul Bayt emphasize these. It doesn't mean they're not important. But equally important is the actions. Interestingly, one of the famous poets of the time of Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam was a poet by the name of Di'bil al-Khuza'i. He has that famous poem where he recited about Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in the presence of Imam Ar-Ridha, and Imam Ar-Ridha started crying. He called his family, his women. They put a curtain, and the woman sat behind the curtain, and they all started weeping for this poem. And then Imam Ar-Ridha praised Di'bil for this poem. And then he gave him a abaya of the Imam. Plus, he gave him 100 Radawi coins. What are the Radawi coins? When Al-Ma'mun made Imam Ar-Ridha his successor, again, as a plot to convince people, he made some coins. You know how today, for example, you have coins with the picture of the queen. Okay? He made the coins, but he wrote in them the name of Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam. So these became known as Radawi coins. Today, if you go to the museum in Mashhad of Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam, in Imam Ar-Ridha's shrine, there's a museum there. You'll see some of those coins on display. Okay? So these coins became of value for the Shia. They love gating them. You know how sometimes people have, they like to collect coins. Some people like, unique coins, whatever. People like to collect them. The Shia started collecting these coins because of the name of Imam Ar-Ridha. Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam gave him 100 Radawi coins to Di'bil al-Khuza'i. He sold each one for 1,000. Each one were bought for 1,000 because of the name of the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. Nonetheless, Di'bil, on his way afterwards, after he recited this poem became very popular. Very popular. He had sincere intentions when he recited the poem. When Imam wanted to give him the gifts, he said, I did not recite them for the gift. I recited for you, Ya ibn Rasulullah, for Imam al-Hussein. He said, that's fine, I understand. And may Allah reward you for this. But we giving you a gift, our gifts don't come back to us. You have to accept our gift. So he took the gift. He was traveling with a caravan, with a group. This Di'bil al-Khuza'i, he was traveling with a group, with a caravan. On the desert, or in the desert, they come across thieves, bandits. Back in those days, there were lots of bandits who used to cross. They find which is the route of the caravan. They come, the thieves steal everything, and they let people go, or sometimes they kill the people. So they were, the caravan was intercepted by a group of bandits, thieves. They started taking everything from the group, and they came to Di'bil. They took everything from him, and they tied his hands. The person who was tying his hand recited a verse from the poetry that Di'bil recited, this famous poem, one of the verses. أرى فيئهم أو فيئهم في أيدي غيرهم وأيديهم من فيئهم صفرات. I see their belongings, their rights are in the hands of others, and their hands of their own rights are empty. In other words, the rights of Ahlul Bayt, what the line is referring to Ahlul Bayt. The rights of Ahlul Bayt are taken away from them. Khilafah is taken away from them. Fadak was taken away from them. So their rights are taken away from them and given to others. And they are empty-handed of the rights that is given to them. That's what the line of poetry, that's what the verse is saying. This thief is reciting this verse in relationship to the group. He's saying, in other words, that we're stealing all your goods. Now we're taking all your rights away from you. You have no rights anymore. You have nothing belonging to you. Interestingly, Du'bil looked at this thief who was reciting this line of poetry, this verse. He told him, do you know who is the poet who recited this line? Who recited this verse? He said, yes, a very good poet of Khuza'a by the name of Du'bil. He's from the tribe of Khuza'a, in Du'bil al-Khuza'i. He said, do you know Du'bil al-Khuza'i? He says, no, I've never met him. I don't know who he is. He said, I am Du'bil. He said, seriously? You are Du'bil? He said, yes. He took him to the head of the thieves, the head of the bandits, the big guy, the number one. He told him, this man claims to be Du'bil al-Khuza'i. He said, seriously? You're Du'bil? He said, yes. He said, prove it. He said, how do you want me to prove it? There's no ID back in those days. They don't carry IDs with them. How do you want me to prove it? He said, recite that whole poem. If you're Du'bil, recite the whole poem for me, not just this verse. So he recited the whole poem. He said, Ajib, you are Du'bil? People, this is Du'bil who praised Imam Al-Hussein alayhi salam. Let them all free, give them back their goods. He said, mashallah, mashallah. The guy turned out to be one of the, so and so, And he's a thief. What kind of lover of Ahlul Bayt, what kind of a follower of Ahlul Bayt is this? So then, because of the poem, he said, take back everything, Haji, take back, you're good people. We didn't realize, I'm sorry, Du'bil. Take it all back. So they gave the belongings back to the caravan and they went. This is not the type of Shia that Ahlul Bayt want. This is not the type of Shia and lovers of Ahlul Bayt that they are looking for. So they had to invest a lot of time building the Shi'i character to make sure that the Shia are those who carry the names of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam tells one of the companions, he says, Al-Hasan min al-kulli hasan wa minka ahsan li'annaka minna. Wal-qabih min al-kulli qabih wa minka aqbah li'annaka minna. He says, anyone who does good, any action, any good act, it's good from anyone. But when it comes from you, it's even better. Why? Because you're one of us. And doing something bad is bad from anyone. Anyone who does something bad is bad. But when it comes from you, what is it? It's worst. Why? Because you're of us. The minute people see you, they say, look, this is how Ja'far alayhi salam trained his Shia. When they look at you well-disciplined, well-behaved, then that will bring pride to us. That's why the Imam Ar-Ridha said this, and also Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam said this, and other Imams said similar, where he says, be a source of pride for us, not a source of disgrace for us. When people look at you being perfect, being good, people would love to be with you. And then when they ask, why are you like this? You say, because of my religion. Because I'm a follower of Ja'far ibn Muhammad, salamullah. Because I'm a follower of Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam. Because I'm a Muslim. Then imagine how much people would love Islam. How much people would love Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam. The companions of Imam Al-Sadiq, Imam Ar-Ridha, Imam Al-Kadhim, these guys, Imam Ali salamullah alayhi, these guys were known as the carriers of the Quran. It doesn't mean that they walk with the Quran. Literally, they're carriers. What does carriers of the Quran mean? They're the people who understand the Quran. They know how to interpret the Quran. Not from their own, from Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. They said they listen to the ahadith and they know how to interpret it. And that's why there are numerous reports where people who were not followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, when they were asked questions that they did not know how to answer, they would turn to the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam and ask them, how do you answer this? How do you solve this problem? How do you interpret this ayah? What do you do in this fiqhi problem, and so on and so forth. These were the Shia. These were the people who carried the message of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Those were the people whom Ahlul Bayt were pleased with. They want people with good character, good akhlaq, good manners, good attitudes, good behaviors. That's what they want, not just the salat and the siyam. That's why a group of the Shia, or they claim to be Shia, a group of people, come to see Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam in Khurasan, when he was in Khurasan. Khurasan is today's Mashhad. Now, he moved to Khurasan at the orders of Al-Ma'mun Al-Abbasi. So when Ma'mun alayhi salam made Imam Ar-Ridha his successor, he ordered that he does not stay in Medina. He ordered that he moves to Khurasan next to him, so he can keep an eye on the Imam salamullahi alayhi. So the Imam spent the last 2 years of his life in Khurasan. That's why he's buried there, salamullahi alayhi. A group of the people came, they knocked on the door, the guard opens the door. Yes, what would you like? Say, go tell the Imam that we are a group of Shia to Ali ibn Abi Talib, and we'd like to see the Imam. This guard comes and he tells the Imam that a group, they say that they are Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib. They want to come and see you. He says, send them away, I'm busy. They come 2 months, and the Imam keeps on sending them away. Until finally, they tell the guard, they say, it's been 2 months. We come from a city that is not from here. We're from a further away city. We are embarrassed of going back to our city, where the people of our city who are not the followers of Ahlul Bayt, they will ask us, did you meet your Imam? And if we tell them, no, he did not want to meet us, they will mock us. They will laugh at us. They say, this is the Imam that you believe in? So we don't even have the dignity and the grace to go back. We're disgraced. So please, tell the Imam, salamullah, we need to see him. So the guard says, okay. Goes, Imam says, okay, bring them in. They come in. They say the salam to the Imam. He does not even respond to their salam. When in fact, responding to the salam is wajib, even when you are in the state of the salat. If you are praying, Allahu Akbar, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. For example, your son walks into the room, doesn't know you're praying, says, Father, Salamun alaykum. Okay. Or mother, Salamun alaykum, doesn't know that you're praying, for example. Maliki Yawmiddin, you stop, you respond with the same. Say, Assalamu alaykum, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een, and so on and so forth. That is wajib, even in the salat. Since we mentioned this, it's okay to mention this as well. Also mustahab, not wajib, mustahab in the salat, when you hear a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, to also stop your salat, say the salawat, and then continue. You're praying mustahab salat, wajib salat, for example, and somebody says, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, Sallu ala Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And you're saying, for example, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. They say the salawat. You say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And then you continue, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka, and so on and so forth. It's mustahab in the salat, even in the salat, to stop your salat, say the salawat, and continue on. Okay? So, responding to the salam is wajib, even when you're in the state of salat. Here, the Imam did not respond to the salam. What does that tell you about these people? So they asked the Imam, he said, Ya ibn Rasulillah, ma hadha al-jafa? Why are you being so difficult on us, hard on us? He responded with this ayah that we started with, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. Any difficulty that you experience, this ayah in the Quran in Surah Al-Shura, verse 30, any difficulty you experience, musibah, any calamity, problem you experience, فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. It is what your own deeds. It comes from your own deeds. وَيَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. And Allah really forgives a lot. Allah forgives. If we really want to punish you for everything that we do, if He wants to punish us, then we'd not even stay alive. We don't even deserve to be alive. With all the cheating that we do, with all the backbiting that we do, with all the sins that we commit, with all the haram that we look at, with all the haram that we listen to, if you really think about it, we don't even deserve to stay alive. But Allah, يَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ, and He forgives a lot. Now here, I just want to clarify, it does not mean every difficulty a mu'min experiences is from his own wrongdoing. Obviously, we know that Imams alayhimussalam experienced the most difficulties. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa experienced the most difficulty. It doesn't mean, wal-'iyadhu billah, it's of his own wrongdoing. That's why Yazid ibn Muawiyah, when he saw Imam al-Sajjad in Sham, he told him this ayah. He recited, whatever calamity you experience, it's of your own doings. In other words, don't blame me for killing your father. Don't say Yazid ibn Muawiyah. This is your own father's doing. Imam al-Sajjad immediately looked at him and said, no, this ayah does not apply to us, Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. We are infallible. We are sinful. We are sinless. We are impeccable. We don't commit any sins. This ayah doesn't apply to us. However, the ayah that applies to us, ما أصاب من مصيبة في الأرض ولا في أنفسكم إلا في كتاب من قبل أن نبرأها. Any difficulty you experience on this earth, it is written, it is known in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His knowledge, He knows Imam al-Hussein was going to be killed in Karbala. But that does not mean that Yazid is justified in killing. Khalas, Allah knows that Hussein is going to be killed. Khalas, it's done. Why do you blame me for killing Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam then? Khalas, Allah knew about it. We say, yes, Allah's knowledge does not interfere with your own choices. He knows, but it doesn't interfere. Just like, for example, a parent who knows his child. When he reads his eyes, he knows exactly what he's thinking. When a parent looks at his child, especially when they're young and they still don't know how to lie, they're innocent. They're 3-year-old, 5-year-old sometimes. They're innocent. They tell you, they take a pen. For example, your son takes a pen and starts marking on the walls. You come and you take the pen from him. Baba, give it back to me, please. I won't do it again. You read his eyes, you say, oh, Allah, you're lying. I'm ready to swear on the Quran, you're lying. I can see it in your own eyes. No, Baba, please give it to me. Again, I won't do it. The minute you give it back to me, he starts going and starts writing on the walls again. How did you know? Because you're the father or you're the mother. You can read his eyes. You can tell. But your knowledge, your prior knowledge did not interfere with his decision making. He made the decision to go and write on the wall. Therefore, he deserves the punishment. Okay? Or if he, for example, chooses not to write on the wall, your knowledge did not interfere with his decision. You knew he will not write. You can read his eyes. So you give it to him and he doesn't. So you reward him for doing so. Allah's knowledge, prior knowledge, does not interfere with our decisions. When it comes to the ahkam, Allah doesn't force you to pray, doesn't force you to come to the masjid, doesn't force you, for example, doesn't stop you from committing ghiba, backbiting. He doesn't stop you. He lets you do whatever you want. In the halal, He tells you, this is halal, this is haram. We showed him the way. He is either grateful or ungrateful. It's up to you. Does he know? Yes, of course he does. But his knowledge does not interfere in your decision making. So Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam told Yazid ibn Muawiyah, don't tell us, this ayah does not apply to us, that every calamity you face is from your own doings. This ayah does. But the ayah that applies to us is every calamity, Allah knew about it from before. That's the ayah that comes to us. Sometimes Allah tests people. Allah puts people through difficulties to test them, to see who's the patient one. It's easy to say, I'm an A student, for example. On the first day of school, a person comes and says, I'm an A student, I'm a genius. I'm so smart. Okay, no problem. Let's give you some tests and we'll find out at the end of the term whether you are a genius or not. We'll find out. Even though the teacher may know, he might know who really is going to get 100% and who doesn't. You ask the teacher, how do you know? He says, I can read the profile. I can look at the attitude of the students. I can see who answers the questions in the classroom, for example. I can know who is going to ace this exam and who is not going to ace it, for example. But you'll have to go through the test. It's through the test when you'll find out. And that's where a lot of people fail. A lot of people fail. When it comes to the test, that's what Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says. It's easy for people to claim that they are mu'mineen, but when the test comes, that's when everyone fails. It's easy to say we love al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. When the test comes, khalas. Few people stayed with the Imam. Everyone else ran away. Okay? And that's how we are. So the Imams had to build the Shi'i character. Especially after Ashura. What they saw in Ashura, that most people ran away. Where are the Shia? Where are those who say we love you? Where are you? Khalas. So they had to work on this. So the Imam recites this ayah for them. That this is from your own doing. In other words, this is from your own doing. So they said, well, what have we done, Ibn Rasulullah? Why? What have we committed? So the Imam says, and listen to this. He says, لِدَعْوَاكُمْ أَنَّكُمْ شِيعَةُ أَمِيرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. He says, because of your claim that you are Shi'at Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. وَيْحَكُمْ إِنَّ شِيعَتَهُ. Woe upon you. His Shia are who? Al-Hasan, wal-Hussein, wa Salman, Abu Dhar, Miqdad, Ammar, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. These are the Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib. الذين لم يخالفوا شيئا من أوامره. Those who never disobeyed any of his commands. Now you know who the Shia are? How great is Malik al-Ashtar? Imam Ali cried when Malik died, correct? He said, Malik wa ma Malik. He said, Malik, and do you know who Malik is? He was to me like I was to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. In other words, my right hand man. But what happened in Siffin? What happened in Siffin? Imam Ali sends after Malik. He says, come back. Does Malik come back? No, he doesn't. Imam Ali has to send a second time. Malik says to the Imam or to the messenger, he says, tell him I can get him Muawiyah's head. Just Muawiyah's right there. I can get him his head right now in front of me. Imam tells you to come back, you come back. Khalas. Then the messenger had to come back a third time. This time Imam told the messenger, tell him you come back now. So then Malik came back. You don't need the Imam to tell you to come back 3 times. And this is Malik al-Ashtar, huh? Shaheed, he was a shaheed, he was poisoned and martyred, salamullahi alayhi, in the love of Ahlul Bayt. A great man. But you don't need the Imam to tell you 3 times to come back. 1 time. He says, come back, you come back. I'll tell you, brothers and sisters, now, how many of us are Shia? Honestly, let's be honest. We don't play games with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many times do we disobey the Imam today? How many times have we disobeyed the Imam today? How many times have I looked at the haram? How many ghibas have I committed? How many mu'mineen have I injured by my words and my actions? We have to be really careful, very careful. He says, these are the Shia. These are the Shia. Then, what else? وَأَنْتُمْ فِي أَكْثَرِ. What about you guys? Then what's the problem with us? وَأَنْتُمْ فِي أَكْثَرِ أَعْمَالِكُمْ لَهُ مُخَالِفُونَ. And you, with most of your deeds and actions, you are disobeying them. Imam says, do this, you do the other way. Many people. Allah says, do this, I say, oh, no, I like it this way. I don't want to do it that way. No ghiba, no, I want to do ghiba. Don't hurt people, I want to hurt people. I want to feel better than others. Don't have takabbur, egos. What else? وَتُقَصِّرُونَ فِي كَثِيرٍ مِنَ الْفَرَائِضِ. And you really have a lot of shortcomings in many of the fara'id, obligations. I'll tell you, how many of us are skipping Salat al-Fajr these days? We don't wake up because it's a bit too early. Or we wake up, we snooze the button and we go back. That's a sin, that's a ma'siyah. How many of us? How many ghibas have we committed? How many haram looks? How many haram things we have heard, listened to? So here is what the problem is. What else? وَتَتَهَاوَنُونَ بِعَظِيمِ حُقُوقِ إِخْوَانِكُمْ فِي اللَّهِ. And you take very lightly in the great rights of your brothers over you. Mu'mineen, إِخْوَانِكُمْ فِي اللَّهِ. Your brothers and sisters in faith. They have rights over you. They have rights over us. We don't take these rights. We don't care. That's why a group of people came to Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam. And they told him that we are your Shia. We come from a town, a city that loves you, that are Shia. He said, so tell me, in that city, do the old look after the young, and the young look after the old, the rich looks after the poor, and the poor looks after the rich? They said, no, none of us do this, Ya Ibn Rasulullah. The rich looks after the poor looks after the rich, we take care. And along these lines, I'm paraphrasing the words of the Imam. He said, then don't say that town is a Shia. These are the characteristics of our Shia. Our Shia should do this. Okay? You take the rights of the mu'mineen. If some mu'min is in need, help him. Look after them. The rights of the mu'mineen. Anyone who injures a mu'min with his words, Hadith al-Qudsi, Allah says it's as if he came to fight me in a battle. Wal-'iyadhu billah. Somebody says, I want to fight Allah. Wal-'iyadhu billah. That's what the Hadith says. If you injure a mu'min, what else? وتتقون حيث لا تجب التقية وتتركون التقية حيث لا بد من التقية. He says, and you practice taqiyya when you don't have to practice taqiyya. And when you have to practice taqiyya, you don't practice taqiyya. Okay, this has its own laws which I don't have time to get into. When do you practice taqiyya? When do you not practice taqiyya? This has its own ahkam in the books of fiqh. Nonetheless, we move on. He says, if you were to say, وَلَوْ قُلْتُمْ إِنَّكُمْ مُوَالِيهِ, that you love, you follow him. وَمُحِبُّوهُ وَالْمُوَالُونَ لِأَوْلِيَائِهِ وَالْمُعَادُونَ لِأَعْدَائِهِ لَمْ أُنْكِرْهُ مِنْ قَوْلِكُمْ. If you were to say that we follow him, we love him, we love Ali ibn Abi Talib, we love those who love him, we disassociate from those who disassociate from him, then we don't have a problem with that. But don't say you're Shia. You love Ahlul Bayt, no problem. You follow Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib to the best of your ability. Wilaya, you declare him as your wali. You declare him as the master. Declare him as the master. You love him. You disassociate from those who disassociate from him, from his enemies. You love those who love him. Then we don't have a problem. But this is a rank, being a Shia, that is very high, that you have claimed for yourselves and you are unworthy of it. So then, they said, Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. We say, Istighfar ya ibn Rasulillah. And we declare that we are the lovers of Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salam. So then the Imam tells them, now wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, now no problem. And he turns to his guard and he says, how many times did you send them away? Did you turn them away? He said 60 times, literally 60 times. 60 marra. 60 consecutive times. Imagine coming and knocking on the door of the Imam, and the Imam, wal-'iyadhu billah, sends you away. Wal-'iyadhu billah. It's good to do ziyarah. It's very important. But be careful, wal-'iyadhu billah, that you go all the way to Khurasan, you go all the way to Karbala, you go all the way to Najaf, and you knock on the door, wal-'iyadhu billah, and what happens? And we become like these people, where the Imam turns us away. So we need to do continuous istighfar. The Imam then tells this man, the guard, okay, so give them the equivalence of 60 times. If they were to come, each time, what would you serve them with? What would you give? And make sure they have enough for them to go back home safely. This is what Ahlul Bayt were trying to do with the Shia, building their character. Building the character. Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam, one of his companions by the name of Dawood Ar-Raqi, comes to visit him. He tells him, Ya Dawood, I was very pleased with what you did to your cousin before you came to Hajj. Dawood came to Hajj, then he went to see Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Imam told him, I was very pleased with what you did to your cousin before coming to Hajj. Dawood said, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, yes. He says, tell me, you tell me. He says, you know, Ya Ibn Rasulullah. Imam Al-Sadiq knew exactly. He knew. He says, no, tell me still. He said, well, he said, my cousin is not a lover of Ahlul Bayt. In fact, he's an enemy of Ahlul Bayt. My cousin. But I went to see him before coming to Hajj, and I found his children are very poor. He's in very bad state. I felt sorry for him. And his children, in such state, very poor, in such impoverished state. Their clothes are all ripped. I felt sorry. So I took some money and I gave it to him. I gave him some money. He says, yes, that is what I loved. Sarrani, surur. It means you made me happy. It made me very happy. His cousin, an enemy of Ahlul Bayt, Nasibi. He says he's a Nasibi. But he was very poor and he's my cousin. So he said, yes, that's fine. What you did was the right thing. You giving him because he's your cousin. That made me happy. That's how Imam is happy when a Nasibi, an enemy of Ahlul Bayt, but because he's a cousin, is looked after. Imagine when you look after a mu'min, then what will that make to Imam alayhi salam? Imam knows, he knows, Allah brings him everything. Everything is brought to the Imam salam. All our actions are presented to him. Are we ready? That's what we have to work on. This is what Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam invested a lot of time on. This is one of the incidents. There are several such incidents in the life of the Imam salamullahi alayhi. Despite his difficulties, despite the conditions he lived in, he made sure that he teaches the Shia, builds their character, makes sure that they are worthy of being the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us inshallah among the sincere followers of the Imam salamullahi alayhi. He himself narrates a hadith where he says, my grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa says, whomever visits me in Khurasan, a part of me will be buried in Khurasan. Whomever visits him, knowing his right, then Allah will grant them shafa'ah, insha'Allah. So we pray to Allah to give us the tawfiq for the ziyarah of Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam. And may Allah make us among those who do the ziyarah, understanding and recognizing their rights. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those whom the Imam is pleased with us, so that Allah grants us their shafa'ah, insha'Allah, in dunya, in the qabr, and in the akhirah. Now let's raise our hand quickly for the dua. Mu'mineen and mu'minat, we are in the majlis of the Imam. This is Imam Ar-Ra'uf. One of his titles is the compassionate. And inshallah, du'as are accepted in the majlis of this great Imam. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. Oh Allah, make us and our children until the day of judgment among the sincere Shia of Al-Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam. Oh Allah, make us all among the sincere followers of Al-Imam Al-Mahdi Al-Muntadhar Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif. Oh Allah, make us among those who achieve the shafa'ah of Imam Ar-Ridha in this world, in the qabr and in the hereafter, insha'Allah. And make us among their ranks, the ranks of Ahlul Bayt in the akhirah, insha'Allah. Oh Allah, all those who have difficulties, alleviate their difficulties through the blessings and the barakat of Imam Ar-Ridha alayhi salam. Oh Allah, all those mu'mineen who may be suffering from health problems, grant them quick recoveries, Ya Allah. All those mu'mineen who are suffering from persecutions, executions, imprisonment unjustly, oh Allah, relieve them from all these difficulties, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, hasten the reappearance of our Imam Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, and make us witness his quick reappearance, insha'Allah. Allahumma kun li waliyyika al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala aba'ih في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين لقضاء الحوائج، شفاء المرضى، كشف هذه الغمة عن هذه الأمة، وتعجيل فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان. And for the أرواح of all mu'mineen and mu'minat, especially all our مرحومين، رحم الله من يقرأ السورة المباركة الفاتحة مع الصلوات. اللهم صل على